Chris, I talked about potholes. Hit one the other day. I have never seen so many potholes in a season. And yes, I know. I have to preface that by saying everybody knows you live in the city. We're going to have a pothole problem. I've never seen it as bad as it is this year. You mentioned in your piece 2024 broke a record for pothole notifications. So what's your recourse as a citizen? You're a driver. It's not marked. You come across it, boom, you get a flat tire. You just eat it? That's the end of the story?
Yeah, and just to add to what you said, not only is it we're likely to break that record again, but a report came out where we did a survey of all the roads in Quebec, and it's in really, really bad shape, especially the smaller roads.
Yeah.
They're talking about billions of dollars that need to be invested to restore, drivability. But that being said, to answer your question, it's becoming more and more probable that if you drive in the city year after year, that you're going to run into these potholes and you're going to have damage to your potholes. Now, long ago, the city was very smart. They enacted legislation that says we're not responsible if you drive over a pothole and you cause damage to your tire or to your suspension. So they protect themselves in that front. However, with years and years of citizens going to court and challenging the city, what the courts have done is basically they've made that law as restrictive as possible. So if you have damage to your vehicle that's not your tire per se, but maybe your rim, or not your suspension per se, but it could be a bumper or any other components in your vehicle, well, they have given the green light to get compensated on those matters as well. So what I recommend to everyone is if you drive over a pothole and you have damage to your vehicle, the first thing you want to do, take pictures of the pothole, understand how big it is, have an idea of how deep it is, and document it, and then get the damage evaluated by a reputable garage or a dealership. And you want to submit your claim within 15 days to the city. That's your time limit to do so. That basically saves your recourse against them. Should they say no to you, you can still follow up with a claim at small claims court and go for your damages. And, many people are very pessimistic about that, but there are record numbers of people filing in court, and they're getting judgments. I looked at a whole bunch before I jumped on the air with you, and people are winning their cases. If they're prepared properly, they can win.
So I want to just understand one thing. Are you saying that if it's not just about a tire or just about suspension, you have a better chance, or did I get that wrong?
Yeah, you have a better chance if it's not just a tire.
Okay.
Because they've protected themselves when it comes to like a flat tire, for example. They have legislation that protects themselves, or a suspension issue. They have legislation that they try and protect themselves. But that being said, they cannot contract their way out of negligence. The law says you have to prove that the city was negligent, right? So has a pothole been there for 3 weeks? That's been considered way too long.
Okay.
How big is the pothole? The bigger it is, the more attention it requires. So all of these different things should be looked at. But, not to get too technical, the first thing you should do if you're driving home and unfortunately hit a pothole, take pictures where the street is, where's the pothole, how big the pothole is, and document everything. And once you get to file that within the 15 days on the city's website, what that does is basically save your recourse against them to be able to file with the city claims process. Otherwise, you have to go to small claims court within 6 months.
So question, what's the difference? You're talking about city streets. Now, I'm talking about one that was on the entrance to the Ville Marie Tunnel. So obviously you can't go back and necessarily take a picture. You'd have to do it like 3 a.m. if you're going to do it. But right. I'm trying to understand her jurisdiction. It's a city street. It's a provincial highway. It's a
provincial highway. Yeah. Transport Quebec would be the ones that you'd be targeting your claim against. It's the same thing, whether it's a city of Montreal or another city, or it's Transport Quebec. It's just the same principle applies. They have to maintain the roads, and they have to be reasonable and diligent when it comes to that. It doesn't help, what the city has said. It takes them minutes to fill up a pothole. They have a pothole crew that's out with a truck, and they say it takes minutes. Well, that doesn't help their cause if they're in front of a court and they say we didn't get around to it. It's been 3 weeks. If you can repair potholes within minutes, well, then there's no reason why we should have massive potholes that are on streets for 3 or 4 weeks, kind of like snow removal, right? They're the same situation. And as well, the fact that budgets haven't gone up for potholes when they're becoming worse and worse every year, well, that's also something that doesn't help their case. So no question that Montrealers have recourse. The only thing I can tell you is don't sit around and say, I'll get to it later, because if you don't, you might lose your rights simply because it took too long to file your claim.
So if you can, first of all, you're saying you're seeing more and more of these claims. Are you seeing, did you mention more and more people winning these claims?
Right, yeah. So the judgments that I've seen, they're successful, and sometimes they don't get the full extent of their claim, but they do get something. And some of the arguments that were I guess accepted by the court in the past, let's say 25 to 30 years, are not being accepted today, because they're being a lot more demanding on the city. And the city has technology now. We have a lot more resources available to us to be able to know where these potholes are. So they expect more out of the city as well. So I am seeing more and more people go to court, and they are having success.
Okay, and Chris, what's the process here? Can you go online to do this? Do you have to send in, I mean, if you're doing pictures, you can still do that online. How do you do this?
Yes, if you go on the city's website, they have a claims page where you can file your claim. And that doesn't just go for potholes. That goes for damage to your home, your fence. Could be your property with a snow removal truck. Could be a parked car. So there's a claims division where you can file your claim online, and you can submit all the evidence that you have online.
Okay, and if you are going to end up going to small claims court because your claim is first of all denied, what are you looking at as a wait? Is it months? Is it a year? Because I'm guessing the more people go, the longer it's going to take. Right.
You're looking. It depends on which jurisdiction you're in, but it used to be something like 2 years.
Oh.
Now, since they've raised it to the threshold to $15,000, it looks like some delays have come down a bit. So I would say it's more months than it is years.
All right. So you're not getting a check tomorrow, in other words.
Not tomorrow. No.
Okay. All right. Small claims court, the way to go. And by the way, there's a cost to that as well, is there not?
There is a cost. It'll probably be a couple of $100, but those are reimbursable if you have success in court. Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
Chris, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Aaron.
Drive carefully. Okay, there you go. For anybody else encountering this pothole problem, that's what you do. And he said you can do it on the city's website. Make life a little easier for you as well. Good luck with that.